Hi, my name is Stacy Wallace.
I'm Dana Wallace.
And we're here to teach you about mammals. So mammals have a few characteristics that are unique and make them different than fish or insects or other things that you might find outside. Mammals have a backbone. If you feel your back, you can feel kind of a ridge going up and down your back. That's your backbone. They have 4 limbs and hair or fur on their body. If you look really close at your arm, you can see that you even have a little bit of hair on your body. We don't have a lot, but we have some as,
What do you mean?
as humans. Oh, they feed their young milk. So their mom produces milk that the babies drink from them. They have lungs and breathe air. They're warm-blooded. They deliver their young as live babies when they're born. So some of these, if we looked around the world, would be a panda, has definitely fur, beavers, gorillas, horses, gray wolves. But we want to spend some time looking at animals that might be in your neighborhood and get to know those a little bit better. Some ways to know that mammals live in your neighborhood are to look around for some clues.
Like tracks
Scat.
or poop.
And also there's other clues like smells, things they might have chewed on, things that they might have eaten a little bit of.
Things they might have rubbed on.
So the first animal we want to look at is our friend the skunk. Yep. The skunk is pretty cool because, well, you recognize his stripes right away. And you can also recognize the skunk by the smell he leaves, even when he's walking by. This is a skunk skull.
And you can tell by the skunk skull that he might eat little plants and rodents and animals by the sharp teeth that he has.
A skunk's tracks would look like this. If I saw it in some mud, if he stepped in some mud down by a creek where he was eating or somewhere, you would see a difference between the front and the back paw. And you would also see if he left some scat behind, it would look kind of like this. The next animal we want to look at is the fox. We do have these in your backyard probably, so they're a little harder to tell because they're so hidden and they do such a good job of being quiet. Boy, his pelt is nice and furry, nice and thick.
And his skull is a lot like the skunk skull. He's got some sharp teeth for eating prey. And we see that his eyes look forward so he can find his prey.
The fox's scat would look more like this, and his tracks look pretty similar between the front and the back, and they're about an inch for each print. Our next animal is the deer. We have a deer leg right here, and I want you to look in close at his hoof and see what exactly you think that would look like if he stepped in some mud.
And then we can also see that we know that the deer is a plant eater, and one of the differences about his skull is his teeth are going to be nice and flat for chewing on the grasses.
His eyes are also off to the side because a deer is going to have to keep an eye on who's coming up behind him and who might try to attack him while he's eating. So his eyes are off to the side. If you find some deer scat out in the woods, it's just going to look like little bitty raisins almost. And this is what his tracks would look like if he were to make those in the mud.
Our last animal we might find in our area is our friend the beaver.
Now our beaver tracks are going to look different between the front and the back. And his scat's going to look like, well, just little pieces along the way.
Looks like chewed up apricots.
And so the beaver is kind of neat. We have a tail here that the beaver uses. This is great for swimming. It almost looks like a paddle. It helps them a lot in the water.
And they communicate by making sounds, by smacking their tail on the water.
So if I heard a loud sound like, that might be a clue. Another clue we might see from a beaver is
chewing on the trees.
or a dam that he might have made by the river or a creek. So now we're sending you out on a mission. We need you to go out and look around in nature and see what you can find as kind of a scavenger hunt to see what animals you can find clues that they're living in your neighborhood. Look for tracks, look for scat, look for signs of chewing or smells along the way.
Fur they might have rubbed off on a fence post or a tree.
Yeah. We hope you have a great time and thanks for joining us.